We are here with the NXT Champion Bobby Roode. My man's got some gold now.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of gold, a little heavy. It's okay, though.
How heavy is that thing? Is it? There we go. Wow.
Can you handle that?
No,
you want to might need a spot.
It's got a little weight on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Put me
Yeah.
on the spot.
Yeah.
I can't handle it. Handle the pressure.
Yeah.
No, it is. It's it's heavy, a little awkward, but it's worth it.
It's damn worth it. So you guys had this fantastic match, you and Shinsuke, when it came to the last Takeover event. What were your expectations going into that?
My expectations going into that was to win.
Yeah.
But, I mean, obviously to go out there and steal the show and to be the match of the night. And I think that's the best thing about NXT is that that's everybody's mentality from everyone, from the first match to the last match. Everybody wants to go out there and have a memorable night and try to steal the show. And I know that tomorrow night, NXT Takeover Orlando, it's a sold-out arena. Everybody's excited, for the first time, since NXT's really been around for the last couple of years. It's, WrestleMania weekend has came to NXT's home. We've been here for 2 years and have really built up the Orlando area with the WWE brand NXT and to be able to hold a takeover here at our home at the Amway Center in a sold-out arena is pretty special for everybody. So I know that Shinsuke and I set the bar pretty high in San Antonio, and I know that we're looking to knock it out of the park tomorrow night.
Is it tough to follow up on that, or is it something that you look forward to? Because you want to at least match, if not do better than that.
Right. No, it's a challenge, you know what I mean? And we know what we had to do, what we have to do, and what we did in San Antonio. And Shinsuke and I are experienced guys, and we've both been around for a long time and are both going to go out there and try to steal the show.
And that's going to be the interesting thing, just see, when it comes to the crowd right now, I think for you guys, did it feel different for you once you had been with NXT for a little while, but then you come in there and then you get into that main event picture, you win the championship? Did it feel like the audience got to know you a little bit more because of that?
I think so. It's just, obviously when you're the champion, you get a lot more exposure, I guess, a lot more time to tell your story through television and whatnot, and maybe people become a little bit more invested in you when you're the champion. So, yeah, I think that's a fair estimation.
How much different does it feel than where you worked prior? You've been doing this for how long now? Close to 20 years?
18 years.
18 years. Mm-hmm. So you've now been in this world for the past year or so.
Yeah.
How much different does it feel for you?
It's a world of difference. I mean, you look around here today, I came to Access last night and did a 2-hour signing, and people were everywhere. You know what I mean? I sat with Austin Aries at the NXT signing booth there, and it was nonstop for 2 hours, and we actually, got switched out at 8 o'clock, and there was still about 150 people in line. Wow. So, I mean, it's amazing, just to be able to walk around and see everything and to be a part of the WWE and just to see how this whole operation works. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Does it feel strange, or does it feel even better considering that you're not only here, but there's a lot of familiar faces between Samoa Joe and AJ Styles and Austin Aries and Eric Young now?
Yeah, no, it's crazy, to think, even if you want to look back 5 years, if 5 of us that you just mentioned were sitting in a room, I don't think any of us would have said, this is what we're going to be doing in 5 years, being here and being a part of all this. And, especially for Joe and AJ, you know what I mean? And Austin Aries, his first WrestleMania, and is challenging, Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship, which is awesome. So, I couldn't be happy for all those guys. We've been a pretty close-knit it's been a close-knit friendship for quite a number of years. We've worked together for a long time, and it's just really good to bring that friendship and that work relationship here.
You talked a little bit about the fervent NXT crowd base and the fans down there. How does that fan base carry over? You've toured with NXT inside of Florida, across the country, and then even out of the country. Yeah. Is the fan base very similar, or are there some differences? Can you talk a little bit about that?
No, it is. It's a different type of fan base. It's I almost want to. I know I wasn't in ECW, but it's almost got that ECW feel. It's very special. It's a totally different type of crowd. If you come to it might be different this weekend because it's WrestleMania weekend. And the crowds here are always unbelievable, especially the Monday Night Raw after. But that's the way it is for almost every single NXT event. Every takeover, it's just an electric feel in the building. It's just the fans want to be a part of it. Sometimes they try to take the shows over at some point, but you know what? Every match has a reaction. It doesn't matter who it is or what you're doing. There's such a great reaction to everybody and every match, so it's always exciting.
What's the most creative chant you've heard for you so far at one of those shows?
It was at Full Sail, actually. So when Shinsuke and I were doing our contract signing for our first match for San Antonio, the Shiba Inu chant, and it's followed me. It really has. Awesome. So anytime Shinsuke and I are in the ring, doing live events, wherever that may be, the Shiba Inu chants seem to kick in, and it's just one of those things.
We've got to chat about this. Your entrances at the NXT Takeover events have been nothing short of fantastic. Goosebumps. I mean, we were sitting in Brooklyn last year getting goosebumps. What are you doing this year? Give us a tease of what you're doing this year to top what has happened at the last 2 takeover events.
Well, my music's going to hit, and people are going to cheer, and then I'm going to walk out. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be something special for sure.
Do you hum your own music? I mean, you hear fans chanting and literally singing along to your music. Do you ever hum your own music?
I did probably for the first, 2 or 3 weeks, and then I stopped.
Do you ever get tired of your music?
No. Okay. No, absolutely not.
Because you hear it so many times.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty amazing, that a song can just, obviously walking into the door here, I've been in the business for a long time, like you said, and been other places, so kind of have a bit of a fan base, so to speak. Yeah. And then how a song can take that fan base and create such a huge fan base and just bring so much attention to the character and to myself, and that song is a blessing, to be honest with you.
Be honest with this though. Do you ever cue it up at home? You're coming into the house and it plays over the loudspeaker. You get out of the shower in the morning and it's just a glorious morning for you.
No, that'd be a little weird.
I think your wife would think that's a little weird.
A little weird, yeah. That'd be a little weird, yeah.
Do you know the words to the song?
Yes, of course, yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I mean, I don't know all the words.
I mean, I'll sing it to myself, every now and again when I'm in a good mood at a show or something, and my song's playing and I'm taking my time and the crowd's into it. I'll hum it or I'll sing it or yeah.
Whenever you drop by the Performance Center, is Terry Taylor jealous of your robes?
Yes, of course. Terry Taylor is jealous of everything of mine. No, Terry's great. Terry, I've known Terry for 15 years and helped me out when I was first breaking into the business and has continued to help me out throughout my career and especially now in the WWE.
And that's the thing I look at too when I look at guys that you kind of mold yourself after, because I know we've had this conversation in the past a little bit, but you've always talked about Mr. Perfect was a huge influence. Mm-hmm. To me, I always looked at you like Arn Anderson. Yeah. Kind of this amalgamation, I guess, between the two.
Yeah, and it's crazy because Arn Anderson is employed here at WWE, and I just saw him last night at Access and had a chance to talk to him for a little bit, and it's just it's crazy to think like the people in the minds that are here within the company that you can learn from still. And I've had the opportunity now for the last month and a half to get to know Shawn Michaels, at the Performance Center, and we texted back and forth and just talked about certain things, and he's really, in a way, has taken me under his wing and really helped me. So, I mean, things like that are just, it's mind-boggling, but it's stuff that you can't take for granted. You know what I mean?
What are some of the little things that Shawn might show you? Because like you said, you've been doing this for 18 years, but everybody always tries to grow.
Shawn, yeah, of course, and you want to continue to learn. I mean, the business evolves all the time, and you just, the WWE is a different animal. Even though I've been in the business now for 18 years, this is my first year here with WWE, and it's a different animal, and they look for different things, and the emotional part of what I do, I think it was kind of lacking, and that's one of the things that Shawn was an expert at, was being able to go out there and make people laugh, make people cry, and just feel his emotion in there, and that's something that I really want to learn and have taken a lot in from him.
Well, where do you, we meet you, we talk to you here in Radio Row, we see you in interviews, and I wouldn't say you're unassuming, but you're very much more reserved. Mm-hmm. You go out there on stage, you compare yourself to Mr. Perfect, Arn Anderson. Where do you find that inspiration for that larger-than-life persona? We know it's somewhere deep inside because all wrestlers have that somewhere inside. Where do you find your inspiration for that glorious persona?
I think it's just, when that music hits and then you walk out. And, I mean, I remember Takeover Brooklyn in the summer, and it was my first match, really. and descending down from the ceiling in my music kit, and we had 15,000 people singing my song. That's a moment, you get chills, and you just go out there and you just turn into this. You flip a switch, you just turn into this character, and you go out there and you do what you've been doing for 18 years, and you go out there and you work hard, but at the same time you have fun.
Yeah. And I had this conversation with Sami Zayn the other day, because we always talk about these WrestleMania moments, and they don't always have to happen at WrestleMania. Like, he had this great moment the other night at a house show in Montreal with Kevin Owens. And then for yourself, like something like that in Dallas, that's something that's going to be special for the rest of your life.
It was, and being my debut match in Brooklyn, and just not knowing what to expect. Obviously been in other places for a long time, but that was my first taste of a WWE event, really. And my taste of the WWE universe, so I wasn't sure how I was going to be accepted or not. So, and I was, and just with the song playing, and obviously that was a huge help, and just the entrance itself, and just that whole, I think if there's a moment that has stood out, obviously winning the title is huge, but I think just that very first moment for me being in NXT, Takeover Brooklyn is going to be a moment that I'm never going to forget.
So Takeover Orlando coming up on Saturday night. Where do you expect to be at WrestleMania? Is it something where, I know some guys have trouble watching the show. Some will watch it from backstage. Some will go to a suite. Where do you expect to be come WrestleMania?
I'm going to be backstage, I'm sure. And I'm not sure. It's a different kind of setup here from what I'm told. So I think a lot of us will be up in a suite. I'm just going to, I don't really have a game plan, to be honest with you. I'm just going to come. I'm going to enjoy the show. I'm going to just enjoy the weekend. You know what I mean? You just got to really take the time to kind of sit back and kind of just and enjoy it.
What do you think goes through your head while you're watching WrestleMania? Because that's a stage you still want to be on. Do you have trouble watching that, or is it something that you enjoy watching?
No, I honestly enjoy it, because obviously you watch wrestling. I watch wrestling every day. I watch the network every day and study and obviously to be at WrestleMania last year was pretty cool. I was there backstage, and just to this year is special for me because I get the chance to see guys like Joe there, and Austin Aries and Bailey and the people that I had a chance to work with in NXT are now on the big stage at WrestleMania. So it's pretty special for me to be able to sit here and watch my friends.
Hey Bobby, I got one more question for you before we get out of here. When the brand extension draft, whatever happens later on, where are we going to see Bobby Roode? Is it going to be Raw? Is it going to be Smackdown? Or where does Bobby Roode want to go?
That's a great question, and the questions that's been asked quite a bit, and the answer is I do not know. You know what I mean? And if
do you have a preference?
I really don't. You know what I mean? When you think about the talent on both sides, and you think about the history of Monday Night Raw, and then you think about the talent, and just the show itself. I'm a big fan of SmackDown Live and the talent. Obviously, there's a lot of dream matches there for me. with John Cena. Love to mix it up with AJ Styles and the WWE. Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt. Those guys. I mean, there's such great talent on both sides. So it's wherever I end up, it's going to be glorious.
Well, I think we need to end on that note. Bobby Roode, the NXT champion, joining us here at Radio Row.